Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button and check the comment section for today's topics. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I feel good, dude. Fresh cut. Weather stopped pouring down here. So, dude, it's been like a tropical storm warning like every fucking day down in South Florida for like the past 2 weeks. So that's been annoying. Actually woke up, dude, terrifying. So obviously Blair knows, but for those of you guys who don't know, I'm going to Italy next month for my aunt's birthday. Shit's not cheap. Fuel prices up. Airline flights out the ass. Like, shit's not cheap. And then, dude, I woke up Monday morning to water stains on my ceiling. Damn. So I'm like, fam, I cannot afford a new roof right now. So, like, I got some.
Is that what it would take? Like, require a whole new roof?
No, I mean, probably not. Like, I'm thinking the worst case.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm just thinking, like, this motherfucker's gonna come scan me, say, yo, you got a hole here, but if I don't fix everything, it's gonna be holes everywhere, right? Yeah. So I'm praying to God it's not that, and if it is, I'll deal with it. It's all good. Hopefully I can just patch it up and keep it moving until next summer. But what there's a good chance, according to people, so people pray for me, please, that it's actually located next to an AC vent. So they think it's because I haven't flushed out my AC line for a while, that like condensation building up and like water like kind of coming out of the pipe sometimes is splashing into that. So like, bam, I am putting everything on. Please let it be that, because that's just a normal maintenance fee. Whereas like, again, right. On the cheap end, a new roof is going to cost me 15 grand. On the normal end, it's going to cost me 20. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah. Shit. Dude, that's the shit about like homeownership. No one tells you about, bro. It's like, yeah, get a house equity. It's like, nigga, I can't afford this. Like,
right. Yeah. And I think that's what it took me a while to tell my now wife. Like, homeownership is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But like, I feel like everyone only talks about the bright side.
Yeah, the fire part. Yeah.
Like you get to, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe owning a car, it's not quite the same thing, but you get to customize it, make it your own spot. Like it's your home, but obviously like you have to finance it too. It's not just magically.
Yeah, it's not magically you went from like a dope 2-bedroom to like, I have a mansion now. It's like, yeah, for sure. But yeah, dude, that's been fine. So just dealing with that. But besides that, dude, life is good. Super blessed. Can't complain. Nice. How about you, bro? How was the trip to the East Coast? My man is a jet setter.
Yeah.
You landed today or last night?
Today's Wednesday. So I landed Tuesday afternoon.
Okay.
Was out in the East Coast since last Friday morning. So took a red eye. Mainly was in Boston. The wedding was in Summit, New York, which is like in the middle of nowhere, upstate.
Very upstate.
So we drove like 3.5 hours to get there, just for the wedding on Saturday, spent the night, and then came back to Boston afterwards. So Sarah's friend, who was actually one of the bridesmaids, she lives in Boston. So we stayed at her place. She's got it set. Like she has not only does she have a triplex that she owns and rents out, but she's living in this spot. And not only is this spot like 3 times the size of my apartment, but it's like half the
one of the triplexes.
No, she has like 1 3-story just house, like not a triplex or anything. But then she has a separate triplex that she rents out.
Oh wow!
And the house that she's living in is probably like 3 times the size of my apartment, but her mortgage is half my rent. And her area is like nice. Like I didn't.
Yo, Boston is like one of the most expensive cities in America. That's wild.
I don't know how she finessed it, but
well, she got it. I'm assuming she's had it for a minute, right? She didn't just get this like last week.
I want to say, well, first I think her parents actually bought it for her, but I want to say
either way, like it's phenomenal. Good for her, dude.
Yeah, it. I think she just recently got it. I don't really know what the situation is. All I know is
sure. It doesn't matter. Good, but like, yeah, because I was saying like. Every time you guys post, I was asking like, yo, like, how do y'all know? Like, y'all were only going to like the dopest spots. I was like, oh, my man, they're going out. Like, I was like, fine.
Yeah, no, shout out to her. The spots we went to were all fun. She's in the restaurant industry, so I think naturally she just knows like, what the good hangout spots are. I'm sure she talks to like 1 million locals per day. So, yeah, it was really fun. I personally don't know if I could live in Boston, but as far as the weekend experience, had a really good time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I felt about Austin. Like when we bumped into each other. Like I was like, oh, this is bad fun. But like, I don't know if I could do this every day. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? So, and I don't know. For me, I couldn't live in Boston, bro. Like, I don't know about you, but like, just like I know we're minorities in America, but like, you really feel like a minority in Boston. So I was just like, after a while, I'm just like, I don't know, bro. Like, I know you gotta really fuck with like, I don't know. I don't want to judge the entire fucking city. Yeah. Because again, I love Boston. Love people from Boston. In case Johan Lennox is listening and questions us again, but like I love everything about Boston. But there's sometimes like it was very palpable. Like like I don't really see a lot of people who kind of look like my people.
Yeah, and even like just other minorities. Like I didn't really see many Asian people, Indian, like nothing. Like it felt like it was primarily white, which is again fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think I'm just not used to it being that way. That lack of diversity just isn't something I'm very used to. And it's not like anyone ran around, trying to make me feel uncomfortable.
No, they're not running around with swastikas or anything. Like it's I feel you. It's obvious. How was the wedding itself? I feel like you shared online that you were like, you weren't sure how fire was going to be.
Yeah. The wedding itself, I mean, it was, so the best part about it was I got to see some of my fraternity brothers who I hadn't seen in several years.
That's whose wedding? Like, so it was one of your friends?
Yeah, one of my fraternity brothers. It was his wedding. He invited several other fraternity brothers. And then I even saw like some college friends that I hadn't seen who aren't in my fraternity. So that aspect of it was cool, but I think we've talked about this before, but I think there's only a couple things that, at least for me, matter when it comes to the wedding. Like flowers and all that shit, cool, it's nice, but the music and the crowd, I think, really make it fun. And outside of me knowing these college friends, the music was awful. I kid you not a single song that was played came out within the last like 10 years.
Bro, that's
like
so
the best
rough,
song was like fucking some obscure like T-Pain song that I had never heard, actually. Not even like Buy You a Drink or some shit. It was like, this was like on some like mixtape that never made it out.
DJ Drama Gangsta Girls 36.
Like and then on top of that, no one was really dancing. There was like the wedding was maybe 60 people. And
that's a great size too.
Yeah. And maybe like 5 people were dancing. And then I was trying to get some people to take shots, and they're like, wait till dessert. And I'm just like, all right, this is kind of lame. Like I knew it was going to be a tame crowd, but it's just frustrating because I'm like, you guys spent all this money. Like, can we celebrate? Like,
right. It's a celebration, bro.
Yeah, this isn't no kickback in someone's living room. Like, let's fucking have fun and get crazy for an hour.
Yeah. Cause like, from an outsider looking in, you would assume, like you said, you saw a good portion of your fraternity brothers. So you would think just like the idea of reminiscing would force you like, let's get fucked up today, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of the disappointing aspect of it, but the food was good at least, and got to see some old friends. But if this was somebody else's wedding where I didn't really know anyone or many people at all, I probably would have like left early. It just wasn't my scene, unfortunately.
But the overall trip looked like you had a good time. Is that fair?
The overall trip was great. I think everything combined, I had more fun than I expected.
Dude, amazing. All you can ask for, bro. Good, bro. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. And then back in the office, or they say you're still good to chill at home?
Nope. Still this whole COVID situation. My boss got it. One of the girls I work with.
Dude, my boss just had it too, bro.
Oh, shit,
my boss just had it. Dude, where I stay in South Florida, Broward County is up 30%, like in cases, like, bro, bad.
Shit. Yeah, I know cases are definitely up in the Bay. And yeah, the office has already had like 3 incidents. So at this point, my boss and everyone is just like, we're back to optional again. Got some email basically saying like we have like this big office meeting and they're postponing it till early next year. So
oh wow, okay.
That says to me they're basically like, yo, this shit isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, they're punting the year. And then and what's wild is that someone was saying, I think it was the Joe Rogan episode I was watching we were talking about with the flagrant thing that in January there's meant to be some other crazy fucking variant that's meant to like, do damage. So it's like, bro,
in like 6 months they're like predicting
that's
this?
What he said.
Shit.
That's what he said. Yeah. Or maybe he was just being like, crazy about it. He's like, obviously we're gonna have a new variant.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised either way. They were saying whatever variant's down here in South Florida is like a different strain from what Delta or Omicron was. But
yeah,
dude, who knows, bro? Again, we're in the office twice a week. I have no issues with it. It's great seeing people, but it's also great knowing that, hey, if I really don't feel like going in today, like no one's gonna give a shit. So
yeah,
man, good, man. Life is good. Summer is here, which is crazy. Dude, to think that your wedding was almost 4 months ago is fucking wild.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that, and even the bachelor party, and I was like, damn, that shit was like 8 months ago or something.
Yeah,
all this stuff feels like yesterday. Like it's crazy because I was even going through a couple emails and stuff. Like my cousin's wedding was end of April, and it felt like it was 3 weeks ago. But that shit.
The one in Cancun.
Yeah, like time is flying by right now.
Flying by, bro. Which is why, like, dude, not to like get like on some like therapy, mental health shit. Even though apparently this is Mental Health Awareness Month for men, so maybe we should talk about this shit some more. But like, on Monday, bro, I was almost like spiraling because of this roof shit. I was like, bro, because I just the day before paid for like everything for the Italy trip. So like, obviously, it's just not cheap. Like, it's not whatever. It's what I can afford it, but it's not cheap.
Right.
So to think that to wake up and be like, oh my God, bro, like this is happening now, like now, like, bro, like, so that had me going like, off the walls, bro. So yeah, man, it's important to just like, I was able to calm myself down, obviously praying about it, but also like, like, it is what it is, bro. Like, I'm lucky to have these problems. Like my problems are, I need to fix the roof on the house that I own and have over, $100K in equity in. And I need to figure out how to make sure my luxurious trip to Northern Italy works out. Like these aren't real problems, bro. So like, I get that, but in the moment they felt fucking terrible. So like, I'm just like grateful that I was able to like, just like realize like, this is a very blessed life we live in. Our problems aren't really like that devastating.
For sure. And then I know we were talking about home ownership and expenses, but assuming you have a home in like a state or city where people actually want to live, which you do live in, like down the road, these $5 grand expenses are going to be nothing compared to like the profit and appreciation.
Dude, absolutely, dude. And like I was telling my girl, like I want to keep the house in the family actually. So like at some point I have to keep this. I got to fix this roof. So might as well knock that bitch out now. So for the next 25 years, if I have people renting it out, like I'm not worried about them calling me, Miss Doctor, landlord A-bar. Yeah. The ceiling caved in. I'm like, well, you're fucked. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, man. But all good stuff. But excited about the episode, bro. Love to catch up. A lot of things happened last week. Before we get into it, shout out to our sponsors over at Fear. 20 plus years of helping people deal with anxiety and depression. Anxiety and just stress over like situations that could happen in life and a work experience. Links below. Audio-Theory is the promo code. That's Audio-Theory. Plenty of discounts. Let them know we send you. Shout out to the fams at Fear. But it's official. The numbers are in. I owe Blair a few round of shots when he gets in town, hopefully this fall. Post Malone, I think the actual numbers were 130. Yeah,
like 130. I want to say maybe 132 or something, but same difference.
Flop, bro. So like, all right. So you be honest though. So after listening to the album, like, what are your like? Because obviously, when we made these comments about how much we think it's gonna sell, we were impressed but not overly moved by the single with him and Roddy Ricch, right?
Yeah.
But we also got Post Malone. The album should be good.
Yeah.
After listening to this, like, what is your actual reaction? Because I'm very intrigued for this.
When I listened to it, I just felt like I was listening to someone who at this point is just making music for fun and wasn't really trying to do too much with it. None of it really moved me too much. It was very acoustic feeling. And that's personally not my taste. Like this kind of Post Malone isn't my taste but it was very clear to me that there weren't very many hits on it. Like the Doja Cat one, I think, could potentially be a hit, but even that didn't scream like, oh my God, like radio smash chart, top charts of the charts for like 10 weeks straight type shit. And I don't know, I was disappointed, but then again, it didn't seem like he really put too much effort in making this body of work be like his comeback or something, because there was no marketing. None of the songs on there seemed like something that, could really do damage on the charts. So I feel like he was just kind of just giving us a project. It didn't feel like anything other than that.
So I did what you usually do. I was in the comments trying to understand like other people's opinions on it. And I saw that one take was that people think he's trying to get off his label and he has like a number of albums he needs to put out. And this is like one of them to help speed that process up. Would that make sense to you?
That would make sense to me if that is true. Granted, I don't think it was so abysmal and trashy that it was like, oh my God, how do you even feel comfortable putting this out? To me, it was just boring. It was like,
yeah, no, you're right. I take that back. I'll get to my take. Yeah, I agree. It was just boring. It was just boring. Yeah. You know what's wild though? Like, it's actually because the song's towards the end. I forgot about the Weeknd song. So when I got to that, I was like, "Oh, this is all right." I was like, "Oh, bro, I heard this 4 months ago."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Was it that? It was the one like kind of 80s sounding inspired.
Yeah. So that was I actually enjoyed that one. I don't know if it's a banger or a hit. I don't know how it did in the charts when it came out, but that was an enjoyable song. But yeah, bro, like I listened to that shit and I was just like, bro, what is this, man? Like, I was bored. Like, I was like, when does this get good? And then it got good at the end with a song that's been out for fucking 4 months. Like, that's abysmal. Like, and then I don't know if it's because he wants to get off his label, but bro, like plenty of people are in shitty deals and want to get off their label. But at the end of the day, you still have, I want to say a commitment to your fans. Like, I'm not going to put out bad music for you, right? Because you're still telling people to go out and support this. And clearly a lot of them didn't because the numbers were bad for his standard. Again, good for most people, bad for him. But like, this wasn't enjoyable, bro. Like I would never, and dude, we've been to a ton of Post Malone shows together and separately. I would never pay to go watch this album live.
No.
Like, there is no fucking way. And when Beer Bogs and Bentley dropped, when Hollywood Bleeding dropped, I was like, fam, we got to figure out a way to go watch this fucking guy live. I don't care. We already saw the Rolling Loud. That doesn't count. You know what I mean? Like, but bro, I wouldn't, there's no amount of money. Fam, Live Nation could send me an email that I won 2 free tickets and I would still figure out a way, like, I would delete the email, bro, because there's no fucking way I am going to go and sit through fucking 40 minutes of this shit. Bro, bad, bro. Bad.
Yeah, I walked away from it feeling disappointed. I was hoping I was going to be on the plane, just bumping it back to back.
Vibe it out.
There was only one song on there, and I'll save it for later because it might be my heat of the week. Okay. But out of the whole body of work, and even the deluxe, which came out, which didn't do shit. It was just like
I didn't even know, bro.
An extra throwaway, a deluxe in a surplus of throwaways. But let's say it isn't this label thing. Do you think it's just the nature of artists who reach heights and they're just like lose that motivation to like make good shit?
So let me answer that first. So I would say he also has, because I think John Mayer, I don't think John Mayer was throwing shade at him, but John Mayer was on Hot Ones like 2-3 years ago and said like, hey, there's like a thing you can do with certain vocals and instrumentation that is a guaranteed hit, right? Like, and he
like certain chords and stuff.
Yeah, he referred to Post Malone and like didn't like throw shade, but was like, bro, like we know what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? And I think after time, like your fan base is gonna get tired of it. No matter if it's been proven to be a hit for you for 5-6 years, which has really been like since 2016, Post Malone has been the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, I think people get tired of it because I feel like there was a lot of similar attempts that just didn't hit on this body of work, right? Like I think if we would have got this maybe in between Beer Bogs and Bentley and Hollywood Bleeding, we may have a different approach to it, right? But like he gave us 3 albums that it was like, wow, it's fucking nonstop. and then to give us something that seems like a similar attempt to that, but just not exactly it, and like a lazier version, just makes me think like, I think he may have to completely reinvent himself, which is fine because he's 26 years old or whatever the fuck he is. Like, he can figure it out. Yeah. But I just feel it was more like him. Like, I think we're tired of what he's currently giving us. Like, dude, I can only hear you kind of yodeling, hip hopping for so much. Bro. Yeah. Like, I was like, bro, we're like literally, I think like on track 4, I was like, bro, we're still kind of doing the, like, you slightly changed the beat. These songs all sound the fucking same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, like, it just felt like, it was like, man, I just think we're kind of past this sound. Like, which happens, bro. Like, we're not doing like disco music anymore. Like, that's sounds move on. Yeah. I just think that yodeling hip hop shit, if he's gonna stay with that, has to be recreated in some kind of way to still keep us in tune with it. Yeah,
that's a good point. Because I was even thinking about that song he released end of last year or something, Motley Crue.
Dude, that shit did nothing.
It didn't do anything, and I actually liked the song. Like, yeah, for what I think it was. We both
agreed it was fine, but yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't like eager to replay it. Like, damn, this is, you know, something that deserves just getting bumped 24/7. And to me, it was kind of like cooped up. It was dope, but like, are you really gonna go out of your way to listen to it again?
Right.
Probably not. And I think it was all kind of cookie cutter Post Malone, which is still
right, because he knows the formula.
Yeah, he knows
the formula.
But yeah, outside of that, I just don't think we're getting anything that's too new. And it's weird saying that, because I feel like the biggest criticisms of artists are either they experimented too much or they're doing the same exact shit. And it's like, all right, well, what do you want me to do?
What do you want from me? Yeah, that's fair. And again, that's why there's no science to this, which is why you have to respect the Kanyes, the Jay-Z's, the Drakes for keeping people engaged for so fucking long. Because, dude, there's a reason. Like, yeah, probably 50 Cent, dude. Like, 50 Cent had a similar 5-year domination run. And then after a while, like, bro, like, people get tired of you. Like, that really is, like, we've been spoiled in our lifetime, bro, that we have like 3 or 4 artists that just seem to be loved and appreciated for their entire 10, 12-year run with the Kendricks and J. Cole's. But like, dude, that's not normal, right? Yeah. The majority of people are a 50 Cent if they're like successful. Like, they're gonna have a nice little 4-year, 5-year run, hopefully get super fucking rich, and then go do something else. You know, like, we just kind of, I think, assume that everyone's gonna constantly be, and it's just, that's really not what it is, bro. So
yeah.
Again, Post Malone's still super young. I'm sure he can reinvent himself, but this just wasn't good, bro. Like, it wasn't. Yeah. And I think I don't want to put it on, I think it's just him. I think we're kind of over what he's trying to give us.
Yeah. And I've heard a couple people say, like, based on his track with The Weeknd and maybe some others, that he might end up going that route, trying to experiment with like the whole 80s thing, or maybe
80s almost like house music, but like, yeah.
I could see him doing some like spin-off album that's just like purely 80s influenced, or
dude, or like him, like, I don't know, I thought of like because you know how like Diplo and certain like house DJs always have like an R&B singer on it, and it just sounds dope.
Yeah.
I can see him being that guy, you know, just like, so. Yeah, and again, which will be fine, bro. Like, again, he's made so much money. And my thing, like, we're gonna get to Jack Harlow again for like the 13th episode in a row. But like, Post already proved himself. Like, bro, he gave us 3 classic albums. Okay, sorry. He gave us 2 classic albums and a very good 3rd one. Yeah. Like, that is, dude, people don't do that, you know? Like, so. Whereas with Jack, we're waiting for, all right, dude, like, we think the potential's there. Where is it? So, like, it's a different comparison, different, you know, it's like, bro, like, cool, man. If you don't have it anymore, that's okay, bro. Like,
like
you gave us enough. Like, we have plenty of content to listen to, even if you decide to never do music again, which, again, he won't, and I hope he doesn't, because he's super talented and he'll figure it out. But, yeah, it's a different comparison for me.
Yep. Yeah, 100% agree. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's just sad because there's only a handful of artists that I care about in terms of anticipate what they're doing with music and their new albums. But when they disappoint, it just leaves me kind of hopeless. Like, all right, who's gonna fill that void? Because there aren't that many artists that can produce like a good body of work. Like, yeah, sure, I can find like independent artists that have one banger, but like I might not give a fuck about seeing them live or like looking at their album. Whereas we only have so many artists that we actually care about, and when they get to that point when they've kind of already peaked, it just leaves me kind of in the dark as far as, you know, all right, who should I pay attention to now?
Dude, phenomenal point. Honestly, I didn't have it on the rundown, but we should add that. Like, yo, how do you feel like going into literally the second half of the year? Because I'm just like, bro, what do we have to look forward to? You know, like, like generally, because yo, I'm at the gym. So on the rundown, just so you guys know, give you like more background. Like, I put like Baby Keem and like the Greater Sign, you know, like bro, because I'm literally bumping Baby Keem nonstop right now, like nonstop. And I'm just like, bro, this album came out last year. Like, and again, I listened to Kendrick again this morning. I'm still spitting that, but just like Baby Keem's album after watching him live is just like, it's just like, I'm like taken back to that moment. So like, I'm just hooked on it. But like, bro, like, fuck, dude, like, what is there to look forward to right now? Mm-hmm. Like, have you had those thoughts? Because fam, like, I look at like potential albums coming down the road. I'm just like, all right, cool, let's see. But like, nothing like I'm like, yo, this is gonna take the summer over. Like, dude, nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't really think there is much. Like, we've gotten basically
we got the
Drake,
Kendrick one, we
Kanye,
got a J. Cole fucking mixtape,
Future. I think literally the only thing that's missing at this point is like Astroworld. I mean, sorry, not Astroworld. Utopia.
Yeah.
So
which that I already have minimal expectations for after everything.
Yeah.
So, damn, bro, that sucks, bro. To be honest, like.
Yeah, it's sad.
Oh man. All right, bro. I mean, I just wanted to ask you because I had that same. Like, I was at the gym. I'm like, yo, you're really gonna put this album on again? Like, fam, I know every lyric to that fucking album. But yeah, it is what it is, bro. But I think it's probably gonna give us even just like to give people more of a. I feel like that's gonna give us, you and I, more motivation to like find new artists to bring on the pod. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just to figure out, like, yo, what is out there right now? Because. Dude, with Gunna locked up, Young Thug locked, like, we're not getting a Thugger album, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all this shit is just like, whoa, this is kind of weird. Like, I don't think we're getting a Drake album until maybe the end of next year, if he even wants to drop anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the way they're moving right now doesn't feel like they're even trying to give us new music.
Yeah, like it's like music, it doesn't seem like a priority for a lot of these guys right now. Understandably, shit, if I had like 800 million in the bank, I'd probably be dancing around at the Kentucky Derby and shit too. But
yeah, and it's like, we're not getting a Jay album, right? That'd be a surprise. Like, Nas already gave us 3 classics within a summer and a half, so probably not.
Yeah.
So, bro, like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it really is going to be like a new artist that we haven't even been talking about that much that may just like take over the rest of the year.
Yeah, because it's really dry right
even
now.
Like, it's weird. You know what's funny is like, even like Lil Baby, like, he's been dropping singles here and there, but like, nothing that's like earth shattering. Like, yo, did you hear that fucking bar? Like, it's just like,
yeah. I wonder if I mean, there's rumors that like his clique might be the next to be investigated by the feds or taken down by the feds.
Quality control, QC?
No, I think it's his like
Crip,
4PF or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, all these rappers are getting taken out. Like, not even just them, and many of them we don't even listen to. But that's the other thing that makes everything kind of just seem a little empty. It's like drill is basically becoming like the number one reason why these rappers are getting arrested in the first place, is their lyrics are incriminating them and shit. And then people are dying. Like, there's so many rapper deaths. I'm like,
bro, it's like,
where is this really headed?
For this episode, like, that's in the last like 4 days, bro. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, and it kind of feels almost like hopeless as a fan, right? Like, just like, yo, the fuck, we like, like, I do. But we said that shit. I mean, to a certain extent, we literally been here like last year and was like, yo, is anyone gonna drop shit? We got like 4 really good albums. So I'm hoping like there's something dropping in like end of July, August that we have no, you know, it's not even our realm that's gonna like just take over. So, which is doable, bro. Like, I can see Offset dropping a fire, like maybe 21 Savage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true.
So it's possible, but fuck, bro. Like, yeah, like, I want to be at the gym, like bumping some new shit, dog. Like I was working out with my boy today, and he like gave me a playlist. I was like, bro, thank you, something different, bro. Like it's like if I hear Family Ties one more time, bro, like it's great, but I'm like, yo, there has to be something else out here. So that's funny, man. All right, cool. But yeah, shout out to Post Malone. Again, it's all good, man. People can put up L's. It's not a big deal. So personally, I think this actually is a big W for your boy Jack Harlow. So rumors has it he officially, I don't think he stole Lori Harvey from Michael B. Jordan, but he may be the next one on her list of celebrities that she's taken down before hitting 25. So your thoughts on Lori Harvey and Jack Harlow dating rumors?
I mean, if it's true, like more power to them. I think for me, I saw it, if it's true, I saw it as an immediate W for Jack, because for him, I think his biggest, his like bulletproof vest in a way is him being embraced by the culture, and especially Black women, because once Black women got your back, you can't do shit to take that person down. And if Black women, like the queen of them, so to speak, in the industry is Lori Harvey, or like the ultimate prize or whatever you want to call it, Jack Harlow's just gonna get more cool points from all the rappers. Like he can talk that shit. Doesn't matter if he flops or not. Like he'll just look like the swaggiest white dude ever, let alone swaggy dude. Because just being associated with her, people thought you were like a G and like a player. But now, if he gets her, like it's a wrap. Like his career is immune.
Yeah, dude, and like it's a great take, man. I'm glad you said it as well. Like that's a great take. Like it's gonna put, I think his championship belt right now is how much do hip hop, Black people, the culture embrace me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just this Macklemore, Asher Roth kind of like, I can do what you guys do, but I'm really not one of you. Like I think like him, right? If this is true, with the Drake cosigns, the DJ Drama cosigns, like dude, like yeah, like that's a huge win, bro. Like it's like, all right, bro, you had a bad album, but fuck, dude, we still fucking like you. You know what I mean? Like we don't just like, we fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like so, yeah, bro. That will honestly, like, I think people forget how bad the album is if like these motherfuckers start dating for like 4 or 5 months. Like, cause it's not gonna last, obviously. Yeah. But like, if they date for 4 or 5 months, like, and they end the year together, like I can see it now, like a New Year's Eve together. It's like, oh man, this motherfucker is like huge. You know what I mean? Even though like in the big scheme of things, like Lori Harvey really isn't big outside the culture. Like if we think about it, like no one's really talking. What does she do? Like she's just Steve Harvey's daughter. Like okay, like she's pretty. I think she's gorgeous. Blair thinks she's like a 6 or 7, but it's fine.
That's not true. Black women, I think she's a 10 out of a 10.
But yeah, dude, that'd be a huge win for him, bro. Honestly. So like, and maybe I could even see this should be marketing. You know what I mean? Like yo, like, listen, help me out here. We can make this work. Blah blah blah. But
I was gonna make that point too. Like maybe this shit isn't even real. I could easily see it be some industry thing where it's like, yo, my sales were a little low, and you're not with him anymore. Like you don't even have to fucking stand next to me. We'll find.
Let's just make people think.
Deep fake. We'll do like hire Kanye or Kendrick's video team and just have some other white dude stand next to you. And I wouldn't be surprised because I mean it really does happen. We just don't get obviously told who those relationships are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, I'm just like, I think she's pretty. I just always fascinated how in the industry, people all go after the same like 4 or 5 girls. And I think originally it was confusing to me just because I'm like, I see women who are just as pretty, if not more pretty, like out in public, like airport or something. But I guess it really boils down to like the status symbol of it. Like I got this woman that everyone else wants who's associated with this person, therefore that rubs onto me. And if Jack is doing that, I guess I could see how that would be super beneficial as opposed to some random chick who's just pulling off the street.
Yeah, 100%, dude. spot on. And then even for her, right? Because I think like people feel very comfortable calling her certain kind of names, but then it's like, bro, like if you're a woman of a certain stature, you can't just go date the guy who works your local fucking barista. You know what I mean? Like it has to be a guy who's comfortable with someone who has her own millions. And dude, like that's going to be a certain kind of person, right? Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, they're going to be famous more than likely. So you're going to know of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't take like everyone had like, I mean, not to copy the game's line, but like everyone has a past. You know what I mean? Like your girl had people, like my girl had people before me. Like it's just, I don't know them, thankfully. And I don't fucking, you know, whatever. But so I do feel bad for like her and like females like that who like get a terrible rap because like, you know, all their boyfriends. It's like, yeah, dude, who do you want me to fucking date? Like, you know what I mean? It has to be someone who kind of gets my life.
Yeah. And I think for her, it also, if she is moving on from Michael B. Jordan and Jack Harlow, it doesn't really come across as like promiscuous or manipulative as maybe someone else. Because I think Jack Harlow kind of has a clean cut image. He seems like a harmless, like playful dude. Also, he happens to be white. So I think this move, if it's true, isn't as bad or isn't going to be as talked down upon as opposed to if she were to go to like, I don't know, Lil Baby or some shit.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh, obviously she's Lil Baby. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it kind of is a win-win for both of them, to be honest. So we'll see how that plays out. You know, if hip hop keeps being as bleak, this will be the new thing that we talk about every single week. Like, all right, updates on Lori Harvey and Jack Harlow. Fuck, I hope not, dude.
I know. That's why I was like, damn, I didn't want, I know we never want to turn this shit into like a gossipy, like who's dating who type thing. But I think, I don't know, Jack Harlow just always finds his way into one of these fucking stories somehow.
Yeah. Which again is still a win for him, bro. Like the KFC thing is a win. The New Balance thing is he's finding ways to pick up wins in the other things that he's meant to be doing good that besides rapping. So like, in some kind of way, it's still some kind of evil genius by him and his marketing team. So I mean, shout out to them, bro. Like he's gonna be around for a while. To our point before, he just may not be that guy when it comes to music. So
and even the game brought him up. I know we're gonna get to him later, but even he brought him up in his fucking interview.
Oh, he did, bro. Like I tried to watch like 10 minutes of it. I was just like, bro, I can't like.
I know. I skipped through.
Most of it's like such blasphemy. We get to it now. Like it's just such blasphemy shit that he talks about. Like that whole take about that he thinks he's the greatest rapper in the world, and like if I don't have that confidence, like I'm like, bro, I get what you're saying, but that's like I feel like some shit you say in the mirror. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like no one can fuck with me today. Yeah, fine. But bro, you really think you're the great? Like you really believe that, bro? Like you think like we just stopped listening to music the last like 13 years, and we're like, yo, my bad, bro. We forgot about you. You are like, there's no fucking way, bro. Like hip hop chose you. We understood you, and we're like, bro, you are perfectly talented, but we're good, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? And I feel like the numbers, again, it's not all about numbers, bro, but like those they are an indicator of something. Yeah. Like you are where you are, and like, bro, you're a well-respected rapper who made good money, but no one has been checking for a Game album for a decade.
Right. And when he said, so I watched the video. And immediately, like when he started talking, I saw kind of like a smirk on his face, which to me showed that like he knew he was being or going out of bounds with whatever he was saying. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it really is just some like egotistical rapper shit where for some reason, and I've seen it in other interviews too, like it will be a rapper who's like obviously not the best lyricist, like. Right. Probably like when Lil Uzi started or some shit. It might have even been one of his interviews. But they're like, who do you think the best out is? And he was like, and whoever it was like, it's me. Like, I'm the best rapper alive. Like, I don't know why it has to be that so competitive to where you just blatantly say shit without any evidence.
Acknowledgement for reality.
Yeah. Like half of these motherfuckers haven't even put out albums yet, and they're saying they're the best rapper alive. So I feel like Game was basically just saying subjectively the best, but like, if it's like, my reality, then fuck what your reality is.
But question, was he on promoting anything?
I don't think so. You mean like an upcoming Actually, he may have been. but vaguely. I think there was something at the end of the interview that said like stay posted, like big shit coming soon.
I got you. Okay, because he's been in the news a lot for someone who doesn't really have anything going on, and maybe he's in the news because like he made some wild ass comments before, and now people want to see if he'll make wild ass comments on their platform, which is again good marketing by him, right? Because we're talking about him for like the third time in like 2 weeks, you know. So I get it, but it's also at some point like, bro, like what do you like? I don't know, man. Like,
I think it's like kind of like those boxing like press conferences where they're like, I'm gonna crush this little fucking boy over here, blah blah.
Yeah.
And they get their ass beat like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, dude. If he put out an album, he would get his ass beat by the numbers, bro. Like, cause no one's checking for this shit. Like, and for a reason, bro. Like, dude, no one enjoys the way he makes music anymore. Like, we just don't, bro. And it's just like, and that's okay. It's like our point about posts. Like, we're allowed to like evolve and listen to other things. Like, bro, he's not a which what I love about Wayne and Drake, like he doesn't make timeless music. Like, bro, he was able to bring like gangster rap back in a real way, right? And then other people like the Kendricks like ran with it and made it more like evolutionized it. Yeah. He really hasn't done anything with it, bro. He's still rapping like it's fucking 2006, and like, dude, we moved on from this, bro. Like,
yeah, that was weird to me. I don't know. It's rap is so weird because you never technically like need to retire. Like the people retire you, where it's like obviously in basketball or whatever.
That's a great take. The people retire you, dog.
The people retire you. In basketball and shit, like your knees or whatever it is, it's gonna retire you. Like you could say you're the best, but if your knees don't fucking function, you can't do shit. Whereas with rap, technically you can rap till you die.
Yeah.
And I think these guys just don't really. I don't know. It's just such a competitive fucking like industry that people just want to talk shit like until the end of time.
Well, I feel like it's also like just entertainment in general, right? Because like you could be a great actor, but over time, like people just may not want to check for your movies anymore, right? You can keep acting, you can randomly pop up in like an indie film or something, but the days of you getting that blockbuster are over, you know? And it's not because you're no longer a good actor. People just don't want to fuck with you anymore. And like, that's okay, bro. So like, we just got to get like more credit to the people who have figured out a way to stay relevant for so long in like a real way. Like, you know, people who like for rap, like are constantly putting out albums that are getting fucking praise because, dude, more often than not, bro, those handful of people are the rare ones, bro. Again, most people have a career like Game. Like, you know, well respected, we loved you, but fam, we don't want to hear your shit anymore. And like, which is why when he says shit like this, I'm like, bro, like, what are we like? Do you have an album coming out? Like, why are we talking about you right now? Like, because again, like that show he was on, well, Drink Champs 2 months ago, that's a big deal, right? That's a great platform to be on. And then Speedy on Complex is probably the most popular hip hop thing to be on ever. You know what I mean? Because like, he doesn't really interview that many people. So when he does, like, everyone stops to peep it. So I was like, bro, like, why are we giving him an hour for this shit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. As time goes on, it's really hard for me to not think there's some ulterior motive to like any of the shit that's going on, whether it's Lori Harvey or him like calling out Eminem. I think even the interviewer was like, I saw him like laughing, like, were you saying this just to like make the headlines? And
he was like, no, I believe it.
Yeah, he's like, I believe it. He's like, I do love M, but I don't believe that, especially him, because he has a history of dropping names and like poking people to get them to respond and say shit.
Yeah, dude. I remember when he like went at Big Sean and like they didn't even have beef, but he just wanted to like check Big Sean because like Big Sean had that. Well, the what?
Was it because of Kendrick or anything?
No. This is way before, bro. This is like when Big Sean dropped Finally Famous. Like, so around 2011, right? That's pretty much when the Game was like reading like the room and like, oh fuck, like, dude, I'm like no longer really relevant. And then he has that song with Big Sean has a song with Chris Brown on that album. That's like a banger.
Might Be My Last or something. I gotta have it.
Yes, that one, right? And then Big Sean has a line about like going to Benihana's and eating wontons or whatever. And the Game's like, bro, your lyrics are lame, bro. You don't even get that at Benihana. We're like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking? Like, no one cares, bro. Like, Oh, dude, I was like, yo, this guy is fucking done, bro. So like, yeah, I've been I've been done with him since like literally 11 years ago, bro. So when he keeps popping up with dumb shit, I'm like, bro, let's move the fuck on our lives, bro. But all good. Just gotta support my boy there. All right, bro. What else, man? I wanted to just a quick little comment before we get to like the biggest thing before we get out of here. Yo, it's funny how like Vince Staples has randomly popped up in like different conversations for us on the pod. Like when I saw him at the Tyler show, I was like, oh, it's kind of odd that he's just opening up. And then the album dropped and we both fucking loved it. Mm-hmm. And then a month, crazy, Coachella was a month and a half ago. A month and a half ago, I went to Coachella and, you know, I loved the performance, but the entire people there were dead for his performance. And then, dude, I'm watching TV and this motherfucker has 3 different Acura commercials. And I'm just
Acura,
like the car. Like he's like,
that's random as hell.
Yeah, so they're using like 3 different songs to like show the different like ways you can use a car. Like it's dope. Like the commercial's fucking actually very impressive. And I'm just like, yo, like this dude has to have the best motherfucking manager in the world. Like whoever is selling him to what, like dude. So like just kudos to him, bro. Because again, I'm not sure what he wants to be if as far as like mainstream or not mainstream, but he finds a way to like get a bag and still stay true to his music in a really cool way. So you know, I may even bump the Vince Staples album again because you know that was good music we got this year. So shout out to him, bro. Because I was watching the NBA Finals, I was like, God damn, this is like the 3rd fucking commercial today. Like, what is going on? So good for him.
He's one of the few albums this year that I've continued to listen to. Super enjoyable, different, all kinds of vibes on it. I do know he did like a Sprite commercial a while back. I don't know, this might have been like 5 years ago or something, but he definitely has that charisma that could like translate well to commercials and movies and stuff. I'm pretty sure in an interview he said something along the lines of he didn't want like an extreme level of fame like an Eminem just because like you can't do shit. Like if you're an Eminem on your own, at least like you can't go to the grocery store and I'm sure Vince Staples, even at his current level, is already getting bothered in certain places. So
I feel like at his current level, he definitely would have a bodyguard present. But I can also see him moving around the majority of the country and especially internationally.
Oh yeah, internationally,
and be fine.
Like I guarantee it, internationally, if someone does spot him, they're like a true fan who like.
And he might be happy as fuck to find out he has a random fan like
like Vietnam or some shit.
Yeah. Whereas like if it's Eminem, he's like, bro, leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I'm in fucking Ukraine to help out the war. Like leave me alone.
Right. Plus, I feel like for him, someone in the Ukraine, let's say, who notices him is like probably a true diehard fan.
Right.
Whereas Eminem is just like he could have be taking a picture with you just to brag to his mom or some shit. Like there's no like way to tell if that's a genuine fan in that instant because you're just a god in the music industry.
Yeah, we just like that person just knows you're famous some way. Like they probably could even recite like 2 of your lyrics, but they know you're famous. So shout out to Vince Staples, man. That was again, I think he has a phenomenal management team because clearly whatever he's trying to do, I think it's exactly what he's doing. Like to your point, like I don't think he wants to be the headliner, but he'll be there for sure, and you're gonna enjoy it if you're actually a fan. So kudos to him. So the last thing, bro, before we get to the heat of the week, the Rolling Stones released a list of the top 200 hip hop albums to ever be released. Number 200 is actually Astroworld. So shout out to Travis Scott for even having. Hip hop has been around for 40 plus years, 50 plus years. For him to be, in that top 200 is a fucking, an honor.
Yeah.
But the biggest backlash the list is getting, I feel like I was going through the majority of it. It wasn't really I wasn't really focused on like the number you were in. I think it's just like an honor to be on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would just take it, like, I'm happy to be here. But they did rank it, which is these things always get complicated.
Yeah.
So they had Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy, as the number 16 greatest hip hop album of all time, over Good Kid, Mad City, over All Eyes on Me, over other like classics. So your thoughts on that alone? Because again, my point before I was like, if you want to put it in the top 200, because of the impact it had in that time, all for it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna rank it, you can't do that.
Right. And you basically stole the words right out of my mouth.
My bad.
I'm glad you said that because it makes it easy. Like, I definitely think she deserves credit for the impact. Like, regardless of, because a lot of these like hip hop head dudes are like, oh, she's rapping about twerking and this and that. Like, how can you compare it to like Lupe or some shit? But I think we need to look at this more objectively. Like, from a female rapper standpoint, her impact is undeniable. I actually think the album's pretty good. There's like
because there's no story being told, but dude, it's essentially like 12 hits.
Yeah,
like it's just a lot of hits. Like, good for you to be able to create that many fucking bangers, you know?
Yeah, and in the grand scheme of things, I mean, obviously I haven't listened to every female rapper's album, but I wouldn't be surprised if it stood out as one of the best projects of like all time from a female rapper, especially because there aren't that many to begin with. But to fucking put it, if you're gonna rank this shit, and then not only that, but have it basically at the top, like whoever it was who made this list clearly is smoking crack. Because
it was like 30 people made the list, but Rolling Stones is wild for putting. And again, dude, no one talks about magazines, so these motherfuckers aren't like, they know what they're doing, bro. Like they're like, yo, how can we get people to talk about us? You know, click our website, because no one's buying magazines, bro. Like, when was the last time you bought a magazine?
Probably like 15 years ago or something.
Dude, when I walk by Hudson News at the airport, I'm like, why is this even here, bro? Like, no one's buying this. So they know what they're doing, bro. They're gonna, again, I think they stand by the 200 albums they put in that list, but the number, bro, they're bugging, bro, because there's no fucking way. Like, there's just no fucking way. Like, nothing Cardi B has ever uttered would touch Kendrick, Pac, Jay, Drake. Like, get the fuck out of here.
No. Yeah, and that's just objectively speaking, not even like, you know, male rappers versus female rappers.
Oh, not at all. No. Yeah, dude.
Like,
because there's plenty of lines that Missy or Nicki have spit that are fire, and I do all praises. But yeah, like that body of work, there's no way.
Yeah. No, there is no way. I don't know if it's like recency bias or some shit, but Good Kid, Mad City, I know music is subjective, but that album is objectively light years ahead of Invasion of Privacy.
It's light years ahead of like hip hop in general. So like the idea that you would even have that as your top two is also like, we can like focus on that as like the real controversy, but to have that under Cardi B is just, again, like, I think this was just to push like, yo, come to our website, click this, help us make money, because no one buys magazines anymore. Like, we're not really relevant in 2020. Like, I think it's that, bro, because because I if you spoke to whoever runs the hip hop, you know, division of Rolling Stone, there's no way they actually believe that shit. Yeah,
and I'm curious how the selection and ranking goes, because like, you know, is it just fucking 3 diehard Cardi B fans who could put this list together and like not really have to run it by anyone? Like, I think that's another thing I think of whenever ridiculous, you know, charts like this come out is, at the end of the day, a human's making this decision. So maybe it does make sense. Like, if it's just maybe it's a chick from the Bronx who put this shit together. I don't know.
Jenny from the block did this. All right, whatever. We check out the list. I actually need to go through the full list myself, because I went through 200 through 100 and then like through 50 through 10. So there's still like a little bit that I didn't go through. But dude, I really want to see if Baby Keem, what's it called? Melodic Blues?
Melodic
I think is the album.
Blue?
Yeah, I need to, dude, because I'm telling you, man, like in hindsight now, because I remember you and I were both for like, because it came out the week after Don did CLB. It was like refreshing to hear something else. But bro, like, look, hearing that shit nonstop now, man, that album is a classic. Like, so many hits. So, or so many well-created songs. Like, I don't know if they're hits, but very well-curated songs. So, I want to see if that made the list, bro, because that is better than Invasion of Privacy, bro. Like, just from an album. Maybe not impact, because again, I know Cardi B was, dude, like, that was a meteor rise. Yeah, exactly. I get that. But from an actual album, like, yo, let's play this nonstop. Like, bro, it's better than that too. But yeah, man, check it out. All right, bet, dude. So before we get out of here, key of the week. you hinted it might be Post Malone, but is it him, or were there other songs along the trip that really stood out to you?
Yeah, nothing else really stood out to me. I think he's pretty much the only major release. But the one song that I really liked was called Insane on the album. Wasn't anything lyrically impressive, but I feel like it stuck to the kind of beer bongs and Bentleys type of post, just like a slapper, just about him like banging a chick, I don't know, in his backseat or something. But I like the simple vibe of it that he seemed to stray away from in a lot of his other songs, which are like depressing as fuck for no reason.
Was there one like called like the sadder song or something like that?
Some shit like that. I'm like, dude, don't you have a kid on the way? Why are you trying to talk about like,
aren't you rich as fuck?
Left with that? Yeah. I thought he went, if anything, I thought he was happier now that he's in the middle of nowhere in Utah with his wife and
and the song, the album's called 12 Karat Toothache. Like, dude, we get it. You're rich. It's in your teeth. Like, fuck, bro. Like, so I feel it. So, what was the song? What song?
It was called Insane.
Insane.
It was just a nice, smooth vibe. I'm sure it bumps anywhere you're at. But after I heard that, I'm like, fuck, this is literally the only thing that could even be called a banger on the album.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, the one right now is the banger for me. Like, if that came on at a club or at a wedding, I actually be happy they played it. You know what I mean? Like, I would request it. The one with The Weeknd. Now.
The Weeknd.
Again, it's not new, but it's on the album. So like, for me, that's the one on the album that stands out the most. All right, dude. For me, honestly, I also want to show love to hopefully our next guest, if scheduling applies, to Johan Lennox. Dude, I didn't listen to the song when it first came out because I wanted to hear it with the entire body of the album. Yo, Fuck This Town on his body of work is great, bro.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how you feel it was a great question to ask you now when we're talking about it, but like now that you're away from home for so long, when you visit, like I know for me, bro, like it's not the best, you know what I mean? For like a multitude of reasons. Like, bro, like you feel stressed to go meet everyone. You're like, bro, this place really, I like nostalgic this shit as fuck when I'm away, but when I'm here, I'm like, this place kind of sucks. Like, so like I feel like everyone who's like away from home for long enough can like kind of relate to this song. It's just like, yo, fuck this town, bro. Like, it's not that good. You know what I mean?
It's kind of tough for me just because San Francisco is pretty unique in that it has a lot of similarities to LA, but a lot of downsides to it that I probably wouldn't really get in LA. So when I do visit LA, I'm generally happier to be there, but I think it's more so because I feel like it has more to offer, and I'm sure like the pandemic and all kinds of shit like add to it. But I definitely resonate with the message of the Fuck This Town song because regardless of where you're from, I feel like there's a lot of aspects of it that you don't appreciate. And top of mind for me, LA, ironically, because that's where he moved to, is the superficial like Instagrammy shit. Like that doesn't exist at all really in San Francisco.
Repeat that, my bad, it broke up for like 1 second. Repeat that.
I said in LA, ironically, that's where Johan moved to.
Yeah.
But for me, the shit that I don't like is the superficial Instagrammy vibe of it that you don't experience that at all in San Francisco because everyone's like kind of like a techie nerd. They're not like conventionally attractive with fake tits and everything. That's just not the scene out here.
Yeah.
So I think that's the shit I don't like when I go back home is like, you know, everybody's a fucking C-list rapper, actor, actress, and it's just exhausting.
It's exhausting, bro. Like I remember walking, I think like when I went to visit you, but you were gone for the day, and I was walking up and down Venice Beach, bro, and like literally every single 4 steps is like a girl's like either boyfriend or like hired photographer just taking content of them. I'm like, bro, I get like stopping for a picture, but like, what are we doing? But then like you think about it, it's like, yo, like that same girl may have like literally like 45,000 followers and is making close to like, you know, more than 6 figures easily. And it's just like, yo, who the fuck am I to tell her not to do the fucking, you know, little like 2-minute post? So like,
right.
It's just, but yeah, like it's overwhelming though, bro. Like, and I really resonated with that from like the episode yesterday on the Flagrant Pod with Rogan when he said like, yeah, I don't think mentally we have the capacity to really know these many people and like be connected online, right? And like that's like, and then to see like constantly around us, like all people want to do is just like do things in real life, but only because they want to post it in fake life, you know, online. It's just like all that shit is weird, bro. And yeah, in LA, it's the most like in your face version of that.
Yeah. As time goes on, I mean, I've already been kind of doing it and checking Instagram less, but the more and more I step away from it, the more I find it realistic that at some point I probably won't get rid of it completely, but will like straight up only be following like my 15 closest friends or some shit. I just get way too distracted by stuff, and then you know, you see someone else like you're having a shitty day and they're in fucking Cabo sipping martinis and you're like extra sad, and they have nothing to do with it. Like
nothing, they did nothing wrong. You should be happy for them, right? But also in hindsight, you're like, yo, I should have known this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why do I know this? Like, why am I literally like at your table with you right now? Like,
right. Yeah, and I've seen so many people post like, I was looking at my friend's page. He posted his son like his first scooter ride and wrote like a 3-page paragraph about like that. And I get for him like, yeah, that's your world,
magical
like,
moment.
I would be doing that shit too, but for me, I'm like, do I really need to like be bombarded with people's 40 kids first steps and scooters rides and shit? Like it just became overwhelming. I'm like, I need to focus on me right now.
Yeah, you, the music, the pod, life. You're starting a new family essentially. With you know, you're married officially now. So like, yeah, dude, 100%. All of us should. But yeah, I could definitely relate to the LA scene because yeah, dude, like even in my little short moments there, I was like, yo, this is fucking insane, bro. Like everyone really is trying to be a star out there, which again, kudos to them because that shit takes an insane amount of balls to do. Yeah, but it's also like, yo, you're weird, bro.
I think what pisses me off about it is the majority of people who give LA that reputation aren't even from LA. Half of them are from the middle of nowhere, and they just act like assholes because they're all trying to climb the ladder and fuck people over in the process. And then someone who like me, who is from LA, gets lumped into that. Yeah. Even though, I mean, granted, I am making music and shit, but I'm also not like fucking so cutthroat to where I'm only trying to kick it with people who can do something for me.
Right.
Buy fake chains to look like I'm more successful than I am and shit.
Right.
Like
you're not going to Nobu Malibu just to be like, hey, let me tag this thing so people know, even though I'm up and coming, I got money. So like, I have to be like, dude, we get it, bro. Like, I don't care. Dude, even me, like sometimes, bro, like even like more and more, like, I'm going to Italy, so I'm going to post like crazy. Yeah. But, like, you know, we could be out like for like a random like Taco Tuesday date. And I'm like, people need to know I'm here. Yeah. Like, let me just enjoy my time with my girl, like keep it moving, bro. Like, let's just enjoy these margaritas and like enjoy life. So like, but it's a catch-22 of like, yo, this is because then like in hindsight, bro, because I think you and I spoke about this like when like your brother passed and my mom passed, like we're so grateful for the pictures though. Yeah. Right. Those pictures bring up so many emotions. You're like, yo, I gotta capture this. Right. So like, and like, oh, if I'm gonna capture it, might as well post it. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. You know, so, especially if it's a good picture.
Exactly, bro. So like, it really is like a catch-22, bro, because there's like no happy medium at all.
Yeah, and every now and then, like, it does lead to like another special moment. Like you could be posting something and someone's like, oh, I'm actually there too, or oh, you're there. Like,
dude, like us,
you
like,
check
bro,
out this spot. Yeah,
like dude, we literally would not have hung out in Austin if you did not, like, if I didn't like see your post. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, where the fuck are you? Like, I'm like, yo, you have a layover here? Like, what is happening? So like, yeah, that's a phenomenal point, dude.
Yeah. And it's actually happened more than once, not with you, obviously, but after, I think you were probably the second or third time that's happened with a friend. And I'm like, I can't just get rid of social media now. Like, yeah, it's just God telling me to keep this shit on my phone.
Yeah, dude, and like it just happened to me. Like, well, dude, honestly, it happens to me a lot in this set, and I hope if anyone's hearing this, like, it's not about you. Trust me. But like when people are like in Miami, and I see they're in Miami, and I'm like, right, I don't want to hang out with you. Like, I'm not reaching out to you. I'm not like, yo, like, I've only been like once, just like talk to a girl and it worked. But like for the most part, bro, like my life is great right now. Knock on wood. Like I'm happy you're here. If you reach out to me, I'll make recommendations. But like, just because you're coming, I'm like, yo, what's good? Let's hang out. I'm like, you could have planned this better. Like, I don't want to be forced to hang out with you because you've had months to plan this trip and you tell me an hour before and I meant to feel guilty. So, yeah, that's the funny part about it. But all right, broski, great episode as always. Let the people know where to catch us. What we got going on. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yes, sir. You can catch us at audio-theory.com. We have the Heat of the Week playlist on there, both Spotify and Apple Music. New episode every week as well on all platforms. Just head on over to the website. Merch as well. And next week, we got finally Johan Lennox, who will be joining us. Fingers crossed. Tour is over, so I'm assuming his schedule's freed up a bit now, but really looking forward to that. Obviously, great album that we want to catch up on and just see where he's at now with all the shit he's accomplished since the last time we chatted, which is a laundry list of things.
Laundry list. Shout out to him. We're working on a couple interviews for a local Miami artist as well. And also one of Anand from MSB, Ace from MSB, who we had last year. His DJ may be available as well. So nice. Working on a couple things, guys. So definitely, if there's no music coming out, we'll give you people to check out who may be that next wave.
For sure. Tune in.
Awesome, my dude. Appreciate you, love, bro. Be safe. Talk soon.
Peace.
Peace.